This fall, Roe is on the ballot.
A woman's right to make decisions about her own body has been a losing issue for Republicans since the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade.
Democrats scored big in some key races. Notable wins include Ohio, which voted to enshrine abortion rights at the state level.
The House of Delegates, Republicans control the state Senate. Democrats control, as you just heard, abortion front and center in this campaign.
And here we are, 2 years after the Dobbs decision, and the Republicans have no idea how to message it. And 2 years after the Dobbs decision, they're still getting outraised by Democrats in every major election and every major issue.
You don't have to be a political pundit, and frankly, I don't know why you'd want to be, nor do you have to be Belshazzar. That's an Old Testament reference if you haven't unhitched your Old Testament. To read the writing on the wall, single pro-choice women, they are on fire since Roe v. Wade was overturned, and they are mega energized to vote en masse because they want to ensure the Procreative Act has no procreative consequences. And if the election results of 2023 are any indicator of 2024 results, most red candidates will lose because of the life issue. You don't want that. I don't want that. But unlike political pontificators who get you all whipped up and tell you, we're not going to take it anymore, twisted sister. We have to do something about this. And then they never suggest anything. I would like to encourage you to do one of two things or both. You can make a difference in this upcoming election. Not to mention, some babies might live. If you don't want people voting wrong, then their thinking needs to be changed. And the best way to do that, the best way to help somebody think better, is to change their beliefs so that their brain gets wired biblically, and then they will vote rightly. In other words, if you want to win the upcoming election, the chief thing, that was kind of a political pun there, wasn't it? The primary thing that you can do is actually share your faith. If you want to win the upcoming election, then go preach about election. That was a Calvinist joke. Second thing that you can do to help win in 2024 is to persuade pro-choicers that the contents of a mother's womb, it's not akin to a mole, just a blob of tissue. After all, nobody debates or languishes over the decision to have a mole removed. And with the possible exception of Cindy Crawford, nobody cries when they have a mole removed. So how do you persuade people to vote for life? Persuade them that the contents of a mother's womb is a whole innocent human being. If we don't change people's hearts and minds, I'm telling you, prepare to be mega disappointed this November in order to equip you, me, all believers to win hearts and minds. We would actually like to give you a free resource. No strings attached. We want to send you 13 episodes of our series, Life is Best. Seriously, it is the single best pro-life resource available. Normally we sell it, I think like $25, $30. We want to give it away. We think this is that important. If we don't start arguing persuasively for life, look out in November of 2024. Did I mention it's free? So if you're concerned about the upcoming election, this is a way for you to make a difference. Get the resource, show it to your church, create a bunch of pro-life apologists. This could make a difference. And just to wet your whistle, here's a snippet. This will show this thing is the bomb diggity. And did I mention it's free?
Well, I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world that have disease from their parents, that have no chance in the world to be a human being, practically. Delinquents, prisoners, all sorts of things just marked when they're born. That, to me, is the greatest sin that people can commit.
I don't consider it a human being.
Yes, it's another human life, but it's their body.
It's not exactly something, but then again, it is something.
It's kind of more like a bunch of cells. To me, they're not alive, so I'm okay with that.
The child is not technically alive.
You should have the right to end a child's life if it needs to be.
It's only a potential human being. Abortion kills a potential human being.
As Christians, we know biblically, scientifically, and intuitively that the unborn are distinct, living, and whole human beings. That is why we've always got to direct this conversation back to the question, what is it?
Scientifically, we know that the unborn are alive. They fit the definition of what an organism is. They undergo cellular reproduction, meaning they grow. They metabolize by turning food into energy. They respond to stimuli. The unborn is distinct. That is, it is a separate entity from its mother. It is not part of her body. The unborn has its own unique genetic code. It's different from mom's and dad's.
You don't need a PhD to tell you that human life is more valuable than the life of the ants that you buy bait traps for. You don't need a college professor to say that. You know that full well with your moral intuitions. And you can trust those to give us basic information about what we do and don't know as we're talking about the value of human life.
The science of embryology shows us that from the earliest stages of development, in other words, when you were at the 2-cell stage, you were a distinct, living, and whole human being. You didn't come from an embryo, you once were one. There's no essential difference between that embryo you once were and the young adult you are today that would justify killing you back then. You're larger, but body size doesn't give you value. You're more developed, but we don't think 2-year-olds that aren't as developed as 20-year-olds have less of a right to life. You're in a different environment. You're out of the womb, you were once in. But I would argue where you are has no bearing on who you are. When you left home this morning and came to class, you didn't stop being you. And finally, degree of dependency. Sure, you depended on the mother for survival, your mother in your case, but dependency on another human being is not a good reason for saying we can kill you.
Hey, if you want 4 more years of Bidenomics, please just carry on. But if you want to see elections won, souls saved, and babies' lives spared, click the thingamajiggy below and get Life is Best for free. And please note, because this resource, no strings attached, it is absolutely free. If you're an evangelical, it's a sin to not take us up on this offer, because evangelicals, I mean, it's kind of a sin to not take advantage of a good deal. This is, and it will equip you to win every single life conversation that you have. Discuss. Despite the overturning of Roe v. Wade, women continue to feel the pressure to have an abortion. Preborn network clinics continuing to provide wisdom and ultrasounds that ultimately lead to the saving of 80% of the babies whose mommies see them in their womb. How many ultrasounds could you provide? Please visit preborn.org/wretched.